Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. How are you, friends? Hello, hello, hello. Good morning to you all on this fine Tuesday. I hope that the beauty of this new year is with you. That our last gathering was the very first of the year, and we are now a week into this journey of 2026. Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. How are you this morning? Hey, John, good morning to you. Glad you're here. Good morning, friends. A few more folks coming in. Hope that everybody's new year is starting well and good and healthy and whole. That is my hope for you. So, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning, friends. Hey, Jamie Battles, good to see you. Hope you're doing great this 2026. All right, let's get going this morning. It is the 6th day of January on this Tuesday. Welcome to 11:11 in this hour that we might find ourselves in this new year. It is a joy to be on the journey with you. And speaking of which, it is the day of journeying. It is the day of pilgrimage. It is one of this image of the wise men coming to Jesus's cradle to worship him, to worship the baby Jesus, this new king born in Bethlehem, is celebrated on this day. This is what is often known as Little Christmas. This is the Epiphany day, the 6th day of January, this day, 12 days after Christmas. We've just finished up the 12 days of Christmas. Last night was 12th night. As the tradition has it, if you were this was the day that officially the sweets went out of the house, the greens came down, and the journey into Epiphany, the season of light, began in earnest without the greenery and the pageantry of Christmas itself. And so it is. So I want to read you the story this morning. That it is still one of my favorite stories, and we'll talk about why a couple of my favorite things about it as we go forward. But it is this story from the second chapter of Matthew's Gospel. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem village, Judah territory, this was during Herod's kingship, a band of scholars arrived in Jerusalem from the east. They asked around, "Where can we find and pay homage to the newborn king of the Jews? We observed a star in the east and came to worship him. We are on a pilgrimage to worship him," they say. When word of their inquiry got to Herod, he was terrified. And not Herod alone, but most of Jerusalem as well. Herod lost no time. He gathered all of the high priests and the religion scholars of the city together, and he asked them, "Where is this Messiah supposed to be born?" And they told him, "Bethlehem, Judah territory." The prophet Micah wrote it plainly. "It is you, Bethlehem, in Judah's land, no longer bringing up the rear. It is from you to become the leader, who will shepherd, rule my people Israel." And then Herod arranged a secret meeting with the scholars from the east, and pretending to be as devout as they were, he got them to tell him exactly when the birth announcement star appeared. And when he told them the prophecy about Bethlehem and said, "Go, find this child, leave no stone unturned. As soon as you find him, send word, and I'll join you once in your worship." Instructed by the king, they set off. And then the star appeared again, and the same star they had seen in the eastern skies. It led them on until it hovered over the place of the child. They could hardly contain themselves. And they were in the right place. They had arrived at the right time. They entered the house and saw the child in the arms of Mary, his mother. Overcome, they kneeled and worshipped him. They opened their luggage and presented gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. In a dream, they were warned not to report back to Herod, so they worked out another route and left the territory without being seen and returned to their own country. It is this day that as I said, this event of them presenting gifts to the Christ child is celebrated. This little Christmas, this time of gift giving in its culmination of the 12 days of Christmas. And one of the things, as you might guess, that I love about this story is simply this, that it is a story of pilgrimage. Many of you know that I've been on pilgrimage a few times now. I've been to both Lourdes. I have been to the Camino de Santiago, and I've walked across Spain. That the act of going on pilgrimage is this act of leaving the familiar, leaving what you know, leaving what you are connected to, and going out on the journey. And also that this is also the reality of our being. It's the reality of our life. We are the pilgrim church. This is the congregational way, is that of being a pilgrim. This understanding that we came into this world from God. We will spend however many days God has for us, and then we will return home to him. And one of the things I like about this translation is that there is this intimation in here that really is rightly translated, that you don't always see the star. You see, you don't always see the star. And having been to the Middle East and having seen sandstorms and all the other things, what we know about the journey of the wise men, the journey of these scholars as they came across the desert, is that we can be certain not every day they saw the star of Bethlehem. Not every day was there this light to follow. Some days there was darkness. Some days there was sand obscuring their way. Some days, as it says even in our text, that the light simply wasn't there. And so too is it of our pilgrimage, that as we begin this year, as we come to the end of this Christmas season and we begin this Epiphany season, that it is one of my true beliefs that to ever and always keep reminding ourselves that we are on pilgrimage. Even though it's just that we wake up in the morning and we put our little feet in our fuzzy bunny slippers, and maybe our first trip is just down the hall to the bathroom. Whatever it is, we begin our journey for that day. We begin our walk for that day. And some days we will have the light. We will know the direction of travel. We will know what God calls us to. We will know the way ahead. Some days we will not. Some days, perhaps darkness of grief will overshadow it. Sometimes, perhaps confusion will just be a sandstorm of our existence. Some days we will not know it. But that it is our journey to continue to walk it out. And that this is the invitation of this season. This is the reminder of what it is to be a pilgrim people, is that our job is to keep walking out towards the light as best we know it. And sometimes we won't see it. But that doesn't mean we don't know the way in which we should go. Sometimes when the darkness is really great, and sometimes when things are really hard, the very best thing we can do is simply even attend to the most simple things. When I often talk with people who have great grief, they've had a loss or separation, And that in doing so, and one of the things I try to remind them is that one of the most foundational things we can do in the midst of grief is just tend our body, is just tend to the basic things, to make sure we eat, to try and lay ourselves down to sleep, even though we might not, sleep might not come, is to lay ourselves down at appropriate times, to put to move in ways that are nourishing, to maybe get a little exercise, to present ourselves to sunlight where we can find it. That sometimes the best we can do on the journey is simply tend the basic needs of our being and ourself. And that doesn't mean we're doing it wrong, or we can't get ourselves together, or we're failing, or we're falling down. It simply means that not every day of travel is days that we're going to make great progress. Some days of travel are just continuing to survive on the road. And yet on other days there is, just as it says, there are these rejoicing when they as it says in this translation, and then the star appeared again. And the same star had seen in the eastern skies. It led them on until it hovered over the place of the child. They could hardly contain themselves. They were in the right place, and they had arrived at the right time. And that's, friends, what I want to leave you with today. That on this Epiphany Tuesday, this day where we enter into this new season, where we enter into this new year, you are in the right place, and you are at the right time. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what you're carrying. I don't know where your heart is, or where your head is, or where your body is in terms of health or wealth or goodness. But what I do know is that the one who made you is on the journey with you. That the Christ who spoke you into being is also the one who shines the star in front of you and nourishes you along the way. And that you have not been brought to this point. You have not been brought to this place in the desert. You have not been brought to this place at the side of the Christ child so that you might be abandoned, but so that you might be glorified and you might be raised up. That you can rejoice with the scholars from the East, with the Magi, with the wise men, that you are in the right place and you have arrived at the right time. There is a traditional blessing that is put on the door frames of houses on this season. This day is actually the day of house blessings in the traditional church, and the blessing is often written like this. So it is written this way: that it is the year separated in the middle, so 2026 plus C plus M plus B plus, these are the three wise men, the three kings, Caspar, Melchior, and Balthazar. And that all of this together, this year is the year of blessing of your pilgrimage. That this year that you will walk out, this journey that you will be on, this exploration of all that it has before us, that you might remember that you journey not alone, but you journey with Christ himself, that you journey with all of the kings of old and those who sought him before, and that you journey with those whom you love and whom love you, and that in all this, that there comes this blessing, that the darkness may be cast out, that the light may shine again, that the star in the east may bring us to the Christ child on this Epiphany Day. Peace and grace to you all, my friends, and we'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11.